I just wanted to officially welcome you to this wonderful event, sharing just amazing information with, of course, our company, Expedia Wine Club Cruises and AmaWaterways. We have so much wonderful information to share with you tonight. We're pretty excited. As we do, I just wanted to share with you a little bit about ourselves, but also we hope to inspire some questions. And as we do, the easiest way to do that is if you have questions along the way, please type them into the chat box. You're going to see that down towards, if you wiggle your mouse down towards the bottom of your screen, you'll have the opportunity to see that chat box. And if for some reason the different sizes of the screen, if you see like a face on one side or a picture on the other side, you can kind of drag that to adjust it. So we're going to answer all those questions as we get to the end. But as you can see here displayed, we are very proud of the accolades that we have received. But truthfully, we are really most especially proud of and grateful, I should say, of our guests who return to us year after year. We are so thrilled to be able to help you with all of your vacations and honored to do that again and again. As a reminder, of course, we are not a call center. So very different. Our travel professionals are seasoned, experienced consultants, and you'll have everything that your vacation deserves. I would like to mention too that at the end of this program, you'll want to stay tuned. We have a special gift for those of you who are attending. It's a special offer that you'll receive for attending today's program. With that, I'd like to introduce the moderators for today. You're going to find that we have a special guest with us here from AmaWaterways, Hannah Westerdahl. Hi there, Hannah. Glad that you're so grateful that you're with us. Hannah is the director and key accounts manager from AmaWaterways, who will share with us some of the top reasons of why Ama, one of my favorite questions. So thank you for being here. I failed to mention that I'm your other moderator for this evening. My name is KK Offray, and I am the Vice President of Sales for Expedia Wine Club Cruises. But more importantly is a very special guest who's going to be with us today, and that is Brian Murphy. He is the co-owner and president of Expedia Cruises North Bay, as well as Expedia Wine Club Cruises. And he's going to share with us really why the wine club cruises are completely different from any other wine cruise that you either might have experienced in the past or have seen. So really excited to share all of that information with you. So to get us started, I thought maybe I would just quickly explain that, you know, we can choose any product out there. When we go to select a cruise line for our wine cruises, we're pretty darn particular. And so we have chosen AmaWaterways for a great number of our wine cruises for a bunch of reasons. Many of them we are going to share with you this evening. So with that, I would just love to welcome Hannah, who is going to kind of talk through with us some of these top reasons why. And as we do, Hannah, you know, one thing really came to mind before we go through your top 10, because I know you have a brilliant top 10 that I love, but really it's about this inclusiveness. One of the things that really strikes me about AmaWaterways is the fact that so much is included.
Yes, thank you for that, KK. First, thank you for having me today. I'm not sure if anyone else is hearing it. I'm hearing a little bit of a weird echo, just on my end. Okay, just on my end then. Thank you for having me today. I'm so grateful. Over the next hour, I really do hope to represent this to you and all of your clients on the call today to really show how inclusive we are. They can be confident when booking with you and with AmaWaterways that when they step on board, they're not going to be nickel and dimed for anything. You know, they are getting not only the elegantly appointed accommodations, but unlimited beer, wine, and soft drinks with lunch and dinner. Of course, in addition to that, we have our sip and sail cocktail hour. So 1 hour before dinner, we have a beer and wine featured, as well as a drink of the day featured. And then on top of that, by booking with Expedia Wine Club Cruises, they get exclusive wine tastings during the day and shore excursions where we're going to vineyards. So there really is so much. So I would like to go into our top 10 because I think that covers some of this.
Absolutely. So these are your famous top 10 of why AmaWaterways, and I'm sure I'll have to chime in as you go through, but let's go ahead and go through the countdown.
Yes, please chime in. I'm sure you know them better than me. So the first one is the enriching onboard experiences. So river cruising is really special in that, and I don't know, again, I don't know if the slide's stuck, but I think we have a picture. Okay, perfect. Living in the virtual world here, so just going with it. The onboard experiences. So river cruising is really wonderful in that, you know, yes, the ocean takes you to countries, but the river takes you through it. So as we plan each itinerary, we want you to experience the authentic things each destination offers you. So that's offshore, and we'll talk about excursions in a little bit, but also onshore. So these excursions is one of them. And then we have the wellness host. KK, I'm not sure. I'll keep going then. So we have our wellness host. So the wellness host is someone that's there because they know that your wellness journey doesn't stop when you go on vacation. It doesn't take a day off. So it might not be an easy decision to wake up an hour earlier on your vacation, but it is one you'll be grateful for. So those that are brave enough, you know, waking up early, getting your early morning stretching on the sun deck, doing yoga, it makes you feel alert. It makes you get excited about the day. It really is a very peaceful way to start your day. And we have other courses throughout the day. I've taken a Zumba class on board. I've taken a line dancing class on board. And then later in that evening, we had a dance party and all of us were out there doing our line dancing in the center of the dance floor. So really the wellness host is there for you. They're not there to push a product or try to sell anything. They're just there with you on the journey, whether that's doing one-on-one classes or hosting these classes. Next, we have the complimentary Wi-Fi, and this is important. We know that when you travel, you want to maintain communication with your family and friends. We want you showing off, sharing a wonderful experience with them, and really, you know, shouting about your experiences. So we want you to feel connected with your family and friends. There's no limit to the number of devices you can connect, and you can have this right in your stateroom. You see here in the stateroom image, there's a computer on the table, and then in the lounge as well. And then one thing AmaWaterways is known for, you know, we're 18 years old, and in those 18 years, we have led the way in river cruising, and that is because our innovation. We're constantly listening to our guests, our travel partners, trying to figure out what we can do better, and that's with everything. That's with our ships. You see here, this is one of the innovations we're known for. It's our signature twin balcony staterooms. And this is really important. I'd like to spend a few more minutes interrupting our top 10 here to go over the staterooms and the suites. So the twin balcony stateroom is
one of the things that is so absolutely fascinating about AmaWaterways is the fact that when I compare them to other river cruise lines, they are not only so well appointed, but gracious in size. And those twin balconies, you cannot find them anywhere else.
Thank you for that. And we're very proud of that. We're always, like I said, looking to see what that next innovation is. These twin balcony staterooms is one. You see in this picture both the outside balcony where you have the chair. So you can have a private balcony here, and then the French balcony. So it looks like a patio door. You open it up and you can enjoy the weather and everything, the scenery, right from the comfort of your stateroom. And so those rooms are about 210 to 235 square feet. And then continuing the trend of innovation, in 2019, we introduced the AmaMagna. The AmaMagna, there is no other ship like her in the entire world. She is twice the width of a standard river cruise ship. And instead of putting twice as many people on board, we decided to give that space back to the guests on board with larger staterooms. Here you see our grand suite. And you see our standard staterooms. Our standard staterooms on this ship, the deluxe balconies, are the size of our suites on the other ship. So really a lot more space on board, both in the public spaces and in the private spaces. You're home away from home here. And you see the beautiful bathrooms. I don't know about you, KK. I just love the water pressure on our ships. It's better than the pressure I have at home.
I love the spaciousness and the full-size showers. So these are beautiful big glass showers. It really makes a difference. I don't know about you you ladies out there, but it's a big deal for me, and I love this part.
Yes, absolutely.
So with that, we should probably jump back to our top 10. I think we're on number 6.
Number 6, and it feels, food's important anywhere we go. So it's number 6, but we will touch upon this a lot. So I don't want to spend too much time on this, but our Chef's Table restaurant. This is a one-of-a-kind experience, bar none. It is a multi-course dining venue. It is more intimate than the main lounge, and it is included in the cruise. So one night of the cruise, you will be invited to the Chef's Table. And you see here, it's very special. You see the chef right behind you cooking. So you can watch the chef preparing your meal, plating. Everyone loves good cooking shows, right? So that's happening right in front of you, and it is absolutely delicious.
Mm-hmm.
And you can see here, for as phenomenal as this picture looks, I guarantee you it tastes even better. Some of my favorite memories, KK, I don't know about you, but some of my favorite memories on board one of our ships happen around the dinner table.
Well, and I think what's really lovely is as wonderful as the Chef's Table is, I have to say that I really enjoy the spectacular cuisine in the dining room. And we're going to talk about that a little bit more. The cuisine is definitely one of the main reasons that we choose AmaWaterways, because of course, we winos, we like our food too. So, winos are foodies. But of course, the shore excursions that you include, again, one of the inclusions are really spectacular.
Exactly. And even just our standard city tour, and we call it standard, every port of call, every day on the cruise, you're going to go to a different port. You're going to have different options. So there's usually always a walking tour. And even that breaks down into multiple options. So we have the gentle walkers, the regular walkers, and the active walkers. So everyone's able to comfortably travel at a speed that they will enjoy and not feel like they're not doing as much, or maybe they feel pressure to walk faster, whatever it may be. We want everyone to be comfortable, and that really breaks it down into much smaller groups. So the tour groups are an average of 20 to 25 people per group. And of course, you see here, there's a hiking tour and a biking tour, again, entirely included. And then we also have several tasting tours along the way. And this, I really want to highlight the ships. We talked a little bit about the staterooms. We have some of the highest rated ships in Europe, though. So you see the Berlitz Guide logo here. That is a travel guide, and they go and they rate the ships. All of the river cruise ships in Europe, I think there's about 320. And of their top 15 ships, 10 of them were AmaWaterways ships. And that's not just because the hardware, yes, we take a lot of pride in the ships that we build. It's really, in my opinion, the software, right? It's the people, KK. It's the relationships that you make when you're on board. It's how you feel when you're treated on board. And all of that stems from these 3 people here. So we are family owned and operated. You see here, these 3 people, I wake up every day and I just feel so blessed to be a part of their team. You see Gary Murphy in the Trisha, and then you see Rudy Schreiner. Rudy Schreiner is the mastermind behind the shipbuilding. And then really the heart and soul of the company is Christine Karst. You see her smiling right here, so bright, it just lights up the room.
Well, I think her passion shines throughout the entire product. Of course, the onboard crew, they are just exceptional. I think the personalized service, while, and it's very, it's luxury in style, but at the same time, I find that it is very personal. They are just so attentive. It's lovely.
They are. And again, I think that stems from Rudy, Christine, and Gary, but also, they want to be there. They want to be there. They want to make it a memorable river cruise for you. You deserve this vacation, and they want to be there to handle any questions you have, any of your needs. Oftentimes they're gonna, by the second day, already know what your drink order is and have it waiting for you when you walk into the bar. They are so excellent at their job and genuine and personal, exactly like you said. And by, if the ship becomes your home during that week, the hardware becomes your home, the software really becomes your family by the end of the week. And I think, again, AmaWaterways the word ama comes from amare, which is Latin for love. And we try to put love in everything that we do, from our partnerships to our service. Exactly, I see your heart, KK, on board, and you feel it when you step on board. And by the end of the week, you are sad to leave because you really don't want to. They've become such an important part of your family. Is this a new slide, KK?
This I have not seen. This is a bit of a surprise.
I think our presentation might be taken over.
I think it is. Who's this? Oh my goodness, look who's here. Well, let me tell you folks, this is a big surprise.
Hi, Christine. Were your ears ringing?
Well, hello everyone. I'm so happy. Can I crash the party? Of course, you know me, I'm always good for wherever there is really a wonderful group of people and wonderful wine as well, but you are my favorites, and I just wanted to express this and be here for a while. Can I say something a little bit?
Well, and Brian, here we go. We have Brian Murphy with us as well. He is the co-owner that I mentioned and the wonderful mastermind behind the wine cruises. And of course, Christine Kars, for those of you who don't know Christine, she is the co-founder and executive vice president, but we like to say that she is the heart of AmaWaterways. So we are just thrilled that you're here. Maybe you too could share a little bit about our special relationship that we have.
Go ahead and jump right in, Christine.
Brian, it's so great to see you, and it's so great to see your brother and the whole family, because everything is about family feeling. So I don't know when exactly it was, Brian, but it is more than 10 years ago that we met. It was in one of the wineries up there in Sonoma County, I believe. And you know, I have to say there is so much about disrupted travel plans now, but it makes me thinking about the wonderful journeys that we all have shared together. And so for me, one of the best things is the journeys that we have shared with travel partners like you, Brian, and your family and your team. We are so fortunate that we were able to surround us with business partners and friends who would share the same values with us, which is a genuine approach to customer service, innovation, and especially creating the very best and most magical river cruise product and experience for our clients and for our guests. And so thank you for that you accepted our invitation to join us all along the way from a very early stage on. We so appreciate all that you, your teams have done, and we appreciate so many of your guests who come on board our ships, and not just once, because for us it's important to make you feeling proud of the product where you send, and we are working very hard with our teams to make this really the most magical experience for everyone. So we are looking forward to so many more cruises together, wine cruises together. It will start again. You know, the world cannot stand still for too much longer. And we are prepared for this. We have been cruising actually in summer last year with a German operator, but we so want you to come back, and that is just my little message that I have for all of you. Looking so much forward to a bright future together and so many wonderful wine cruises. And I have a little rosé today. I don't know if you see it with my background here with Budapest, but cheers to all of you and to so many more happy and wonderful years together. Thank you.
Cheers. Cheers to you, Christine. Thank you for popping in and talking to us. I just can't say enough about the relationship that we've had. You know, one of the special things that you'll hear me talk about in a few minutes is, I think somebody might say I get out of the box a little bit and come up with some different and innovative ideas about how to make a awesome customer experience. And, you know, Christine was somebody that when we started this program 10 years ago, she would listen, and we went on several adventures together, not knowing how they would go, but with just an idea laid out on paper. And she had the faith that we could execute. I think we did a great job together, because your ships are great, your people are great, and all the things that you work on to constantly improve is the same ideas that we have. So thank you so much for our partnership.
Thank you.
We're
Thank
just
you.
so grateful. And for all of our guests, I have to say, who are watching tonight, this is a very special treat that Christine would be taking some of her time to pop in and share a little bit with us, and we are so grateful. So thank you, and we're going to continue to talk about your great product, so you're welcome to hang around for as long as you can. I know that you have other events that you have to attend as well. So with that,
Two more minutes, I would love to, and then I have to log out. Yeah, but thanks for having me. Thank you so much.
Oh, we're always thrilled, always thrilled. But we're going to talk a little bit about what I call the perfect pairing. And remember, folks, that I mentioned earlier that the cuisine is such a large and important part of a wine cruise, because when you're serving great wines, and Brian's going to talk about just how great they are shortly, it is important that it's paired with wonderful food. So we are fortunate to experience the quality that I talked about earlier as a result of this wonderful partnership, not really partnership, it's an award really that was given to AmaWaterways. They are members of La Chaîne des Rôtisseurs. And of course, as I mentioned earlier, in the dining room, it's not only just the service, but the quality. And I love the fact that we are able to work with them because of our relationship to, on our wine dinners, specially prepare wonderful menus that pair really, really well. They work on sourcing their food locally. It's all very fresh. Everything is cooked fresh daily. There's nothing that comes from the freezer. And of course, all different kinds of specialty needs are taken care of as well. I know that on my recent cruise, we had someone who was on a keto diet. We had someone who was gluten-free. And with preparedness, we were able to accommodate everything. And it was fantastic. Really, really nicely done. Here's just, it makes my mouth water. I don't know about you, but it's dinner time, and I could definitely enjoy those lamb chops right now. Hannah, did you want to say anything about the wonderful cuisine on board?
Oh, I wish we were there right now, KK, having this discussion over that rack of lamb, or it really is an experience every time. And as wonderful as our shore excursions are, I would always find myself as I'm on a tour thinking, I wonder what's going to be served at dinner tonight. You know, like I always look forward to it. Obviously, I'm a foodie myself, but the locally sourced goods, I really want to highlight that, because our food really, like I said earlier, we're trying to bring authentic experiences on board as well, since we are traveling through these destinations. And we do that, one way we try to do that is through the food that we serve on board, always being inspired by the region that we're coming from. So that I feel is really important.
It really is. Well, there is nothing more important than the great wines that are going to go along with the food. And to share with us what makes these programs really unique, please welcome back again the man who makes it all happen. Brian Murphy creates all these wonderful programs. So we're going to just turn this on over to you, Brian, and ask that you maybe share what makes it so special.
Well, thank you, KK. I appreciate that. I will tell you that I have a zest and love and enthusiasm for wine and for food. And it's been a wonderful journey that I've been on personally to create new experiences for people and replicate a lot of different things that we can do so that we can literally fit your vacation into a multitude of different styles of wine cruises. You know, we do single winery wine cruises where it's your favorite winery. You're probably a member of their wine club. You got invited by the winery, and typically the owner or the head winemaker is your host. And we do a series of wine events, which may be seminars on board the ship, may be food wine pairing dinners. Some of the other things we do, though, is we bring multiple wineries on board. I noticed there were a lot of you from Texas. You talked about Texas on the Rhone, and we have actually 4 wineries that are collaborating together and putting together a fantastic wine experience. They're all going to host a dinner. They're all going to host a wine seminar. So on a 7-day cruise, there's 4 food wine pairing dinners. And of course, I mentioned earlier that I just spent some time in Texas, and I met with all our winery partners there. And I have to tell you, there's going to be a few surprises because we added a couple more events. We're going to actually do some regional wines and pair them with the great food of AmaWaterways and also the great wines of Texas that we're bringing along. So there's going to be a very special dinner there. You know, we also have some expert wine hosts that aren't necessarily winery oriented, but they're just great wine educators. You know, we work with several master sommeliers, masters of wine, experts in the field that can bring you dramatic and very educational wine experiences. And those cruises typically have a major focus on the regional wines in Europe. So we have a cruise going later this year when Paul Wagner is the host on board, and it's going to be all about the wines of Europe that we're talking about. And so you can have a different experience, you know, and whatever suits what's good for you. We also do some things with AVAs and organizations. You know, we've done a wine cruise with the American Wine Society for about 4 years, 5 years now. We've done cruises with the Oak Knoll AVA, Petaluma Gap AVA, Dry Creek AVA, you know, where we bring a multitude of wineries together. We do a multitude of dinners, typically 4, 5, 6 specialty food wine pairing dinners. And we also do some things like grand tastings where maybe we're bringing 40 or 50 wines from that American viniculture area, you know, to have kind of a special afternoon tasting on board. So we do a lot of different things. It's fun for me because it's kind of like, well, how creative can you do and what can you do on the rivers? But we have a great combination of different things where you can do, like I said, work with the winery that you're associated with. Some of them really enjoy, you know, just having their guests, their wine club on board. We have, like I said, multitude of things. That's probably the 20,000 strategic foot overview of what wine cruises are. I would tell you that I think what's special and what you can do is talk to your cruise consultant that you work with in our organization. And if you're new to us and wine cruises, certainly reach out. We have about 27 different wine consultants we use. Here's an example of many of the wineries that we work with. So as you can see, I certainly can't name them all off. There's several of them from Sonoma, Napa, Washington, Oregon, Texas, and that list keeps growing. So we value our partners, we work with them. We try to make sure that you really get a special experience when you're on one of our wine cruises. Okay, I think, oh, I love that picture, KK. Can't you just picture sharing a bottle of wine with your friends in the vineyard? Oh, yes, send me there. Okay, I will turn it back to you.
Well, thank you so much. I don't know about you, but I get very excited. I've had the great fortune of traveling on some of these wine cruises, and they truly are unique. I've heard of other companies having wine cruises, and I thought, oh, what's so different, until I've experienced them. And I love when the guests come back. I frequently get to hear the comments, and one of the most common comments I hear again and again is, you could have taken me anywhere. It was the wine experience that was so unique that I had such a spectacular time. So the wine experience is great. But, you know, one of the things that that helps us to choose a wine experience or a wine cruise is the destination. And of course, I like to say the world awaits, because we are going to take a quick sneak peek. And Hannah, maybe you'll join me. We're going to take a quick sneak peek at our 21 and 22 wine cruises and where they go, because on the rivers, they literally cover them. So,
KK?
Yes.
I just have to interrupt one thing.
Sure.
Some of you may see something up here that we haven't even announced yet as far as a wine cruise, but I'm teasing you a little bit. So I guess I'll just leave it at that. All of a sudden you're going to see, wait, that wine cruise is up on our website. It probably will be in another week or two. So I just wanted to jump in there.
There we go. And I know that there are more coming every day. So it's very, very exciting. So let's start on the Danube. The nice thing about the Danube, you can go in either direction. Of course, the ship goes back and forth 7 days, starting in Bischofshofen in Germany or in Budapest in Hungary, and going along. Before we get to the ports of call, I'm just going to quickly call out here that we have Paul Wagner. He's, of course, one of our wine experts. And if you've never traveled with Paul, oh my gosh, it's such a treat. I have never laughed so hard. He's hysterically funny, but the wine knowledge is absolutely brilliant. I learn so much every time. And he, of course, is sailing on the Magna. And we talked a little bit about the Magna just because her stateroom sizes are so much greater. She's actually a double wide. So this is a really unique sailing that's coming up in September of this year. And then we have the Petaluma Gap. That's one of our AVA cruises. And Amphora will be doing the Melodies of the Rhine in March of 22. Sonoma-Cutrer, Romantic Danube in April. And of course, Judd's Hill is going to be joining us for the Melodies of the Danube in April of 22. So the spring sailings are really, well, fall and spring sailings are really exciting. And we should take a look. This is one of my favorite places, the confluences of the river there in Passau.
It is mine too, KK. I don't know what your favorite tour is. Mine is the hike. So you get to hike up to the castle there. You see it in the top right of the picture, and you get the perfect view of the three rivers coming together. It's just beautiful, stunning.
Well, and you know, you see how there's in this picture, if anyone hasn't been there before, you see how there's different colors in the river, and you would think maybe that was just a shadow, but it's not. It was so much fun to be able to walk out onto the bow of the ship and literally see the different colors of the waters come together. It's really brilliant. So wonderful place to go. And of course, Bratislava.
Yes, Bratislava. This is really a fun town, a really, really funky town. They have fun little statues everywhere. You know, the man who's coming out of the sewer grate, a little statue coming out of there. So that's the classic picture you have to take. But really, we dock, again, that you saw that picture of Passau that was docked right almost on the side, right in the center of the city. The same thing with Bratislava. You're just able to get off the ship, go have some free time of your own, take the city tour, whatever it may be. And then Dürnstein. Dürnstein is in the Wachau Valley. The Wachau Valley is, I would say, the Napa of Austria. It really, a lot of wine here. It's up and coming wine region. So going through this area is a lot of fun. It's a lot of, you know, weekend trips for people that live in Europe. Come to the Wachau Valley. It's beautiful.
That particular day in Dürnstein, what's really cool is that you can either go, you can take a hike up to the castle. There's an apricot liqueur tasting. And then, of course, you also have the option of going out to the Abbey in Melk, which if you haven't been there, it's a must do. And one of the things I love, again, about these included excursions, we were able to take the hike in the morning up to, where Richard the Lionheart was imprisoned, the Dürnstein Castle up there, overlooking the Wachau Valley, and it was really cool. And then that afternoon, be able to catch up and still go out and visit the Abbey in Melk. Here you can see one of the beautiful images there. It was spectacular. Oh, and then we can go off to Salzburg.
Salzburg, of course. Lots of wonderful things in Salzburg. Birthplace of Mozart, also Sound of Music. You can't mention Salzburg without talking about the Sound of Music. It's where that was filmed. And one of my favorite memories of Salzburg, actually, I was there and it was a little rainy. but no complaints. Temperature-wise, beautiful, and it had this lightning storm, and the entire sky, it would last about a second. You know, the entire sky would light up purple, and you'd see this castle just glowing, and it was incredible. Everyone just had to look and watch. Incredible experience, but Salzburg is really a special day.
It is, and nobody wants to go with me on the bus because I sing the whole way through. We do all the music from Sunday. Make sure that you're not on my bus when you go there. Of course, one of my very favorite things that AMA does is, as we get to one of my favorite ports in the world, Budapest, you do the Illuminations cruise. So that night, it's so special that everyone after dinner gets to put on a coat, because it's always, you know, even in the warmth of summer, it can be a little breezy, and everybody goes up onto the top deck, and then the ship goes down and back through the river, and both sides of the river just come alive with lights, as well as the bridges. Everything's illuminated. It's spectacular.
It is an incredible night to start or end your cruise. It really is incredible.
It's a great place, yes. And then, of course, we have an opportunity to do a really unique cruise, and it's on the lower Danube. It's actually called the Gems of Southeast Europe. And what really strikes me about this particular sailing is it's so unique. It's so many places that no one has been to. It's recently, I would like to say in recent years, really opened up dramatically. And you could, of course, start in Budapest and end in Bucharest. And what really tickles my funny bone is that last option, which is that you can extend and go to Istanbul on a post package. Thrilled. I love Istanbul. There's so much to see. Talking about the confluence of the world going through there, it's brilliant. And we have it's one sailing, 2 wineries that are going to be aboard. Cask Wines will actually be celebrating their 10th anniversary in 22, and so they're celebrating by coming aboard and sailing with us. And Collier Falls is going to join them on that same sailing, so we're going to have 2 wineries doing the lower Danube. And this is, of course, as I mentioned before, on the Brilliant ship, and it's going to be a lot of fun. So let's take a look at some of the ports of call, Hannah.
Yes, and the lower Danube is very special. I had the pleasure of doing this to May of 2019. And, you know, the upper Danube, really very popular, one of our most popular itineraries. The lower Danube, not as popular, but that's only because not a lot of people know about it. You know, it is off the beaten path, and you really feel it. Starting out in Budapest, Budapest is a bustling capital of Europe. There's so much industry there, right? And then as you go through the lower Danube, you know, you're going to formerly communist countries, right? And so you can feel the architecture start to change. You can feel, you know, you can see, okay, this used to be, maybe there was a rubber factory here and it's now abandoned. So this little town is actually an abandoned town. You don't get that on the upper Danube. So it really is a very different experience. We go here one of the days in Serbia. It is incredible. You saw that picture of Melk where you looked up and you saw those beautiful frescoes. Every surface of this church is covered in gold almost. It is really incredible. Breathtaking experience. And then you also visit a couple of fortresses right on the river. So, you know, these regions, a lot of history in war. So this fortress, the Baba Vida Fortress, yep, in Serbia is a very impressive one. Nowadays, of course, it's used more for concerts. They have a lot of live events there where people all over Europe will fly to these events. It's very different than what it was built for. And then this day, so this day, when you sail through the Iron Gates, it is probably one of my most memorable moments on the river cruise, on all of the river cruises I've taken, because it's one of those moments when you travel where you kind of have this out-of-body experience, right? That's what it was for me. And we go up, you go through this gorge, this beautiful valley that borders Romania and Bulgaria. So Romania to one side, Bulgaria to the other side. And then you have this moment where you pass King Decebalus and you think, oh, this has to be, how old is this? What's the history behind this rock? Well, I think it was built in the 80s. But I love that story because he was the last king of Dacia, the last king of modern day Romania, right? So it really, even in recent history, people have a lot of pride in their heritage and really want to show you. So I really loved this day. And of course, throughout the day, you'll be treated with wine or lots of delights and surprises that we plan during this day.
Well, I think this particular destination is really emerging. It's becoming very popular. So while it wasn't popular before, because as you said, it wasn't as known, it is becoming extremely popular and doing quite well already for 22. Of course, and then we go on to fairy tales and castles, the Rhine River. We have 2 wineries joining us for the Rhine. And of course, you can go from Amsterdam to Basel or Basel to Amsterdam on the Rhine River. And we have Ron Noble experiencing the captivating Rhine in March of 22 and the Peterson Winery in April. Again, a spectacular destination. This is the Rhine Gorge. As you come down, sailing down, you're going to see castles up on the hillside. They're quite beautiful. You know, we get to go into Strasbourg in France. Just look at the spires on the towers and walking around those little villages where all the houses have the wooden slats. It reminds me of Denmark, actually. It's quite stunning. We're going to be able to, of course, spend some time in Amsterdam. Who doesn't want to either jump onto a barge or a bicycle? That's just the way things happen in Amsterdam. But I think this is probably one of the most traditional itineraries that never fails to just warm the heart of anyone who experiences the Rhine. And then we're going on to the Rhone River. So now we're entering France, and there's a couple of different itineraries on the Rhone, but they all have the heart there in France. So Collier Falls is actually experiencing the Rhone here in July of 21. We have, of course, I should ask for a shout out there for all of our Texans here who are on the Texas on the Rhone cruise. I'm sure they're excited to hear about this destination. As well as Lecole, who will be sailing with us in July of 22. So Hannah, maybe you want to take us down through the river in France.
Absolutely. And I think if I am correct, this is one of Brian's favorite destinations that we offer. Yes, yes. I think.
Well, really. Capital, right?
Exactly. Lyon is definitely the city for food lovers. Here you go, Brian. You want to talk about Lyon?
No, right now, every place is my destination. If I could get on a ship, I'd be like ecstatic. But yes, Lyon is the gastronomical capital of France. You know, it's a beautiful city, full of great restaurants, places to just meander. It's a wonderful, wonderful sailing. I don't want to take away what you're doing, so I'll wait and I'll be available to answer any questions anybody has.
But I do love this picture because, of course, we do wine tasting on this cruise. We go visit vineyards, and this picture almost makes you feel like you're right there, just walking through the vine. So I really love this picture. It's what it's all about, right?
That's a good way, absolutely. And of course, we're off to Provence.
Oh my gosh.
And the unique buildings, and it's such a step back in time, even though it's still today. It's a wonderful combination of the two when you get to mosey around these little villages.
Exactly. And Provence actually, oh, and here you go, talking about new itineraries, Burgundy. So the Burgundy region, we do visit that on the Saône River, and the famous vineyards that are in Burgundy. I mean, your palates are just going to be so excited on this itinerary. And then back to Provence. Provence, not many may know, but when you go on this cruise, you'll learn there is a lot of Roman history there as well. So you do see some of that architecture here.
Yes, we do. And there's a wonderful array of history to be experienced on the Rhone River, as well as the spectacular wines. So I know that all of our folks here that are booked for the Rhone cruise, you've heard so much of it from Derek that it's really a great destination. I'm excited for you. I'm ready to join up. I want to go too. And the next itinerary is, of course, Bordeaux. So we're staying in France. This is a very unique cruise because it's not, the ship goes very far, but boy, she makes a significant difference in where she goes. And so first, let me share that we have 2 wineries experiencing Bordeaux, one this year, one next year. I know there are more to come, but right now we have Scheid for this October, Scheid Vineyards. And then we have the Oak Knoll AVA experiencing Bordeaux for 2022. And it was very interesting. I had a guest who went independently to Bordeaux and made all these arrangements to go visit these chateaus. And he said when he got there, one thing he noticed, the best chateaus, there were visitors there from AmaWaterways. And so he came back and he says, I don't know why I bothered to do all that work. And he said, because everywhere I went, Ama was there at the best ones. And many of them I couldn't get in because Ama had reserved the best places to be, the best chateaus to visit, and the wineries. So that was kind of exciting to hear. And of course, this is a great shot of Bordeaux in the evening. Look at that, folks. I want to be right there. Or there. And
Or there, exactly.
and of course, something that you mentioned earlier, Hannah, is the fact that it's not really in the heart of town. And I think this image really portrays that to show us just how close we are on a river cruise to the local towns. It's not like you have to get off a ship and then take a bus ride for an hour or 2 to get to where you want to be. You are in the heart of things on all of these river cruises. That's part of what makes it so spectacular.
Absolutely. And we do see lots of pictures of the vineyards in Bordeaux, but that really is because the history of this region, wine has, wine is the history. I like to say it has shaped the economy, the culture, the traditions. It really is such an important aspect of their lives there. So you really get to learn all of that with the various vineyard visits and the chateau visits. It is, like we said, maybe it's a deep dive into Bordeaux versus the other cruises where you're kind of stretching more countries. It's a deep, immersive, ultimate French experience.
Absolutely. And of course, we're going from France to Portugal and the Douro River. The Douro River is an amazing place. And you'll see from some of the images just how dramatic it is. A little different in the Bordeaux, from Bordeaux, is that the wineries are not right there, or the places that we're going to visit are not right there on the river. We have to go up a little bit to visit them, but simply stunning vistas. And of course, we have 3 wineries. We have Montemar, who's going July of this year, as well as St. Francis Winery, who's going to be on the Douro in July of this year. And then in August of this year, we have Abasella. And all of these are just super, super popular. We love the
Okay.
Hey, Brian.
Hey, and we have Sabraja Family Vineyards in July of 2022 on the Douro River too.
Great addition. That's really wonderful news. And as we go through here, you're going to see, of course, this is the Pinhão Vineyards in Portugal. Just look at the depths, look at the terracing, how beautiful, how stunning it is, right? And we have, this is the Douro River, this is the Douro Valley. And then you want to tell us about our tasting here, Hannah?
Well, you can't go to Portugal and not have port, right? So you will absolutely have a couple different port tastings throughout the cruise, in addition to everything that Expedia Wine Club Cruises plans for you. So it really is a wonderful experience. Again, I think sailing in the afternoon sailing where you see these steep vineyards, sometimes people even, tie a rope around them that's connected to the vineyard, so it's so steep. And then you get to go, take a quick bus ride up to the top of these mountains, these hillsides, and taste all their hard work. You won't forget it.
And it's funny how everyone who comes home always has a bottle or 2 on the way.
Yes, don't forget that. And then here, you know, most of them start or end in Porto for your cruise. And I recently learned, yesterday, I learned a new word in Portuguese, KK, that I would like to share with you. And it's saudade. I believe I'm pronouncing it correctly, saudade. And it carries with it some nostalgia. It means longing for a place or for a people. And I'm feeling it now, spending this hour with you all today. I am longing to get out there and make new memories on board our ships, new friends. That's exactly what I'm longing for. So thank you again for having me a part of this virtual journey.
Well, it's very exciting, and thank you for taking the time too. And you know what I'd like to invite everyone to do is to raise a glass in toast as we prepare to answer any questions that you have. I would love to see you. It's hard to see the glasses on the virtual, but make sure that you're raising a glass to toast. We of course want to wish you many wonderful wine adventures, but we know that there are questions. And so before we get to the questions, I thought I would just share with you the little gift that Hannah and Christine have left with us. And that is that for everyone on this event, you will be able to receive a $200 per stateroom onboard credit when you make a reservation in the next 7 days. Very exciting. And of course, you know that you can contact us either by phone or by email. And we're also more than happy to have a quick Zoom or video call, video chat with you. And that way you could even get to know your designated wine cruise professional, because they are a fantastic team. So I can't see the chat box, but James, I think you can. Are there any questions in the chat box for us?
There actually are some questions. Pete is asking, are there local wines served at every dinner?
Let me take it. Pete, there are local wines offered by AmaWaterways at every dinner, even the dinners that we may be doing specialty wines that may be from other areas. You can always find that Ama does a great job having regional wines. Wherever your cruise is themed, you will see wines from that area served throughout the cruise. So they do a great job with that.
I also see that Jennifer asked a question about either shipping wine home or bringing a 12-bottle suitcase. And I'll tell you a quick funny story that we do travel with a wine case as well, and we bring it home. But when Brian goes on these trips to host these wine cruises, all these boxes start showing up in our office because he stumbles into a little wine shop in this cute little town, and he buys a case of wine, and then they'll ship it home for him, and he ships them to the office. So it's always fun when he goes out to host wine cruises because boxes start to show up.
So let me expand on that a little bit, James. You have the right to bring wine back to the US. You just need to declare it. The tax, you may possibly have a officer, as you're going through customs in entering the US, decide to charge you for the wine that you're bringing. It's a very minor charge. It's usually about $17 for a case of wine to bring back if you're actually shipping it with your luggage. I do it all the time, and I have yet to ever been charged. Frankly, the immigration officers, they don't want to mess around with 17 bucks. You know, they're looking for bigger things. And then, as James said, a lot of the wineries that you visit, they will ship wine. Typically, you would find that a case of wine coming back to the US may be 100 euros. I will tell you the prices of wine in Europe are very reasonable. You know, a $100 bottle of European wine that you find here may only be a $30 or $40 bottle of wine in Europe. It's typically 2.5 to 3 times the price as it, you know, everybody that ends up touching that wine before it hits a wine shop in the United States. What else you got, James?
I don't see any other questions right this second. I don't know if anybody wants to ask a question live.
No, there's some more. There's some more here. There's some more questions. I just pulled it up. It says, have you assigned cruise dates for August, September of 2022? I am currently working on 2022. I think we have about, on our website, probably 15 or 16 wine cruises up there right now. We will have more. Typically, August and September are very difficult, and most wineries like to go in the spring and early summer, and mainly because August through September, they're in the middle of harvest. And for many winery owners and or winemakers can't get away, and many owners are still involved in the wine making process, and they don't want to be away from their winery. So I'm not saying we don't ever have August, September sailings. Sometimes you'll see November sailings because usually the winemaking process is fairly finished there. And then the other question from Kurt says, on your Bordeaux cruise, do you visit local wineries? AMA does a great job of visiting a lot of wineries. It's probably, if AMA has a wine-themed shore excursion program, Bordeaux is it. Most of the wineries that you visit are Grand Cru class wineries. In fact, one of the Sauterne wineries we went to was a first growth. It blew me away to walk into a first growth chateau, because those are usually typically almost impossible to get into. But they visit a lot of, almost every winery they visit are all Grand Cru, which is certainly the quality wineries of the Bordeaux region. Any other questions? Okay. All right. Well, sounds good.
Ready to turn on their cameras again. I just would love to see everybody. I'm going to stop sharing this, and that way we can see everyone.
And if you want to unmute and ask a question, feel free. It's okay.
Turn your camera on to say hello to everybody else. We'd like to invite you.
Okay, I see a new question here. And it says, formal chef night table nights. There are no formal nights on an AMA River cruise. I would say resort casual. You do not need to pack a tie for a gentleman on an AMA River cruise. You will see a few people wear a tie. The first couple nights, I would say you might see some gentlemen wear a sports coat and a tie. By the third night, you will probably see no ties, and in most cases, no sports coats anymore. It's a very resort casual orientation on board their ships.
Thank you. All right.
Any other questions? Any other comments? Anything we can answer for you?
Anybody still have a glass of something? Yeah? No? If you do?
Okay. We can't start our video. I don't know what that means.
Oh, maybe someone can't get their video.
Oh, yeah, there's a little video button down in the bottom left corner to turn your video on if you just push it once.
Oh, I see. Yes, the video so we can see you. Okay.
So we can see you.
There we go.
Okay.
I want to say thank you for being here. Thank you for sticking with us. We hope that this was informative and helpful. And we're very excited for you to be on one of our adventures really soon. Make sure that you take advantage of the extra $200 onboard credit. And it says, cheers to everybody.
Well, wait, I have one more. I have a question.
Yeah.
Hannah, we have several people here that are already booked on cruises. Do they get the $200 because they attended tonight?
What do you think my answer is, Ryan?
I know. I'm putting you on the spot because I'm protecting all my clients here. So
I know.
if you're already on a cruise and you're booked and deposited, you will get the $200 shipboard credit added to your account.
Yay.
So thank you so much.
Yeah.
Yeah, just for watching the video.
Oh wait,
Thanks,
here's another question. Is there an advantage to book through AMA or Expedia Cruises, and is there any problem using our normal travel agent? Only if you do not want to indulge in our wine program and you want to be a guest that gets to watch us drink wine, you can book through your normal travel agent. And I'm being a little sarcastic. Our programs are exclusive to our agency. And yes, you have to book through us, and you can't book through your normal travel agent.
On, I was on.
Now, you can book through your normal travel agent if they want to come work for us at Expedia Cruises. Good question, though. Okay, anything else? All right. Well, it's been exactly 1 hour. We said an hour, and it's an hour. So thank you very much, everybody. I appreciate your time. It's been great getting to talk to you about this. If you have any questions, any information, please reach out to your travel consultant or the numbers that KK had up, and one of us will get back to you with any of your questions or anything that you need. So, okay.
See you on board.
Cheers.
Thank you.